Right, Cura team, it's me. We're back. It's Bonneyville. It's Transport Fever 2. It's PlayStation 5. How are we all doing? If you're joining me today, don't forget to hit that like. And if you're liking, why not subscribe? Neither of those things cost you a penny. If you want to support me in any other ways, you want to check out anything else, do have a look at my channel. There is more than 700 videos. Yes, you heard me correctly. More than 700 videos kicking around on my channel. There is bound to be something for you somewhere. Have fun. Right, what have we been up to? I'll let this run. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Hard to say. Possibly even 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. So with I've been, you know, our stated goal is, wherever we are, sorry, our stated goal is all towns, we want its size, all towns above 1,000. Now, I can't even get Tomaloso over 1,000. It's been higher, keeps coming down, can't get it up, keeps coming down. So yeah, we're you know, we're now, we've only got one town under 500. So you know, we're certainly getting there. We don't have quite as many people over 700 as I was like, or 800, but we are getting there. And it's quite surprising. The town's population respond very quickly to shortcomings, but the cargo network does not. So even just one little change can cause a raft of issues. So, for example, at Ubeda, I added in another platform to try, because there's a lot of cargo trains now going this way from Ubeda, between Palencia, Rivas, heading down to El Puerto, off to Arrecife, you know, all of that. There's a lot of trains going that way. There's less trains going this way, but there are some trains going this way. So I've decided that to try and ease that. This thing is in the way, really, so I can't really run another line out there on this side. I could shorten the other side and add another line on that side, and I'm not saying I'm not going to do that. I might do that at some point in the future. But over here, it was easier. So I've added in here another platform out on this side, and I've moved the I guess we're looking at the other way around. So if we consider that's north, the eastbound trains have the northern platform, as it were. So that's fine. So that will take time to sort itself out. I then went down here to Tomaloso and somewhat did the same thing, because there's a lot of trains that are going over towards Coleslaw. And there's only actually one train that stops at Tomaloso. So I decided that what I would do is I would move the Tomaloso train over. So I made the cargo area a bit smaller, put in an additional line, which meant a bit of monkeying around over here, and a bit of this, and a bit of that, and a bit of everything else, which was you know, fun, I can assure you. Especially trying to get this whole junction network system here sorted so that all the trains could go to the right place. Oh my gosh. Please, for heaven's sake, Transport Fever 3, can we get these nodes sorted? When you're trying to do these crossover points, oh my gosh, the node, oh, it's infuriating. Anyway, so we've got that going there. I mean, this place is busy, but you know, not super busy. We've still got issues with Coleslaw oil, which has been driving me a little bit nuts. These guys just demand an awful lot of oil, which means all this oil is being stacked up here. I guess, you know, and this is the thing I said about making sure we understand the supply chain and understand what's important. So I think what I might need to do is I need to go back and have a look at how much plastics we're actually producing. Yeah. Oh, how much plastics we actually need where's the plastics going? I think the plastics from here is going exclusively over here to create goods. So are we producing? You have to start backwards for this kind of thing. So because it's demand driven, we have to start backwards. So we have to start with demand and say, are we getting enough goods where we want to get enough goods to? Because then we can balance the supply of goods and say the supply of goods is currently fine. We don't want any more oil. Sorry, we don't want any more plastic. We can then balance this out and say we don't want any more production of plastic, so we're happy with this amount of oil. We can then go and say, right, we don't want to bring in any more oil from here. So then we can go back here and say, if we're bringing too much oil in here, we need to reduce the amount of oil coming in here, which means we possibly need to reduce the amount of oil that's coming from. Where is it coming from? The refined oil is coming from, I think. Yeah, where is the refined oil coming from? Because we have the da 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 da. Yeah, where's the refined oil coming from? That's no, that's there. It's coming from here. So it's this thing. So this thing is making the refined oil. So then we say, okay, this is making more than enough refined oil. We could, for example, we could stop this, or we could stop this, stop that train, and maybe this place we could just have trucks running here, and that would be enough to supply. So, so that's convoluted. Um, but somewhat detailed. And you know what? We might go. That probably will be this episode. We might go back and have a look at that. We might go back and have a look at this. Oil is possibly a problem. So we might go back and have a look at that. Arasif gave me the fuel plummeted, and the fuel plummeted because this place was no longer really shipping fuel. And the reason that this place is no longer shipping fuel is because I set up a truck route. Do you remember I said I set up a truck route from here to Arrecife, and this took precedence. So that's interesting. So the Arrecife truck route has a frequency of 37 seconds. So this supply has a frequency of 9 minutes. So I think what this was doing was saying this route is faster in getting the fuel over here than a train coming over here, carrying the stuff over here, and then a train picking this up, and then driving all the way down here, and then trucks doing that. So it has prioritized that. So it's basically replaced the train lines. So I may need to go back and just double check on that, because those trains lines may have become unprofitable and or no point. What's coming out of here? Arrecife fuel. Somebody is here. Yeah, Villa de Cans. So Villa de Cans is still getting fuel, but again, it may be easier to consider a different road connection. So we could run possibly a road connection up here, run a bridge over and connect it over this way. Um, Trying to bypass all the residential areas so we don't add in too much in the way of emissions. We could add it over here so they could go this way down. Well, they're going to Villa de Cans. Yeah. Anyway, we could do it by road instead of doing it by train, and then we delete some of these shorter lines because now, and I kind of predicted that this would happen, right? As the trucks got better, we would get better road routes. As the trucks and roads got better, we would get better road routes, and then we would, start be able to actually take off cargo trains. So there's things like that I am also still working on. I haven't really paid an awful lot of attention to the commuters. You'll see that a lot of people are waiting, but the trains are quite large. So when the train comes in, it takes off like 120 people at a time, and that's fine. Um, Probably one of the still biggest problems here is bricks. It's getting to the stage where I think I need to get bricks from here to this part of the map somehow. I can build a road tunnel through here, I'm sure, and I can get rocks because we already got rocks that are coming here. So I can do another line, and I can get extra rocks. We know that this place can make rocks. That's not a problem. I don't think is he maxed out? Not even close. So he's only going slow because there's not enough demand. If we create more demand, we can get more bricks. We can then get bricks with it. We could even have like a small cargo station here. We can get bricks to Reavers. Reavers wants a lot of bricks, right? So Reavers might be the place to start, and then we could supply more bricks from Reavers back towards Villa de Cans, which would get to Tomoloso, and we can supply bricks from Reavers to places like Antiquera and Arrecife that don't want an awful lot of bricks. We could even there's even I think there's a brick stop here, so we could even get some more bricks here, and these trucks could go to Antiquera and Arrecife, and we could look at that. We have to do something about bricks. We're just not moving enough bricks around the map, and that is causing a bit of a problem as well. So we need to tie up those things as well to get that stuff moving. Um, this place was getting a bit congested, so I had to make sure that I sorted this out and made sure that this was all working according and appropriate to plan. This place was also very interesting, trying to get all these weird junctions that you can see, turning 6 into 5, which is weird. And we've got some cargo running over here, and then we've got the high speed electric, which is also doing its thing, and yeah, a whole bunch of interesting stuff that's going on. I haven't looked at this place in a while, but it still seems to be producing steel. This guy still haven't managed to get him high enough, so there's probably room for bigger and better trains coming out of here. I haven't changed this alignment, which I said was a possibility and is probably a strong possibility. But while we are on all of that, so let's have a look. Let's put it on pause for now. So we've got in some new vehicles. So we've got in the Alco, and we have got in at the bottom the Alco PAPB. Now this is a diesel, but it does do 180 kilometers an hour, and it's 1.12 million. This is a diesel with more grunt, but it's effectively the same, but it is more expensive. So we've been using the Hiawatha for our passenger network, which is steam and does 160. So I think what we'll be doing is we'll be replacing our passenger train locomotives with the Alco PA. I don't want to change over the electrics because this is a 3,450 kilowatt and this is not. So we're not going to get the same amount of traction. It's also what I don't understand here is emission, because it must be related to noise or something. But either way, the electric has a lower emission than this. Maybe it's just clean diesel. I don't know. But so this has a 73, that has a 69, this is a 63. So the emission's still lower. And if we went with this, it's 2.24 3360 kilowatt, and this is 2.24 3450. So it's still a little bit more powerful. It's a roughly the same price. It's a lower emission. I don't see the point in switching my cargo over to the Alco PAPB. That's what I'm telling you. So I think this will work for the pedestrian stuff for the people, but I can't see it working for our cargo. We don't really have anything where we're doing the faster lines. We have the parlor car anyway, and we don't really have anything yet. So with this going to 188, these have currently been limited to 160. We should be able to get an extra 20 out of them on the long stretches, but I don't think that's going to make a huge amount of difference to an awful lot of anything in particular. Shall we say. Now, if we go and have a look at the trucks. So we still haven't got any new buses, so we're still working on that one. But we did get some new trucks down at the bottom here. We've been using the Opel Blitz, so now I've got the Studebaker. The Studebakers are better. Yay! Same speed, slightly bigger cargo, and a very slightly reduced emission each. So they did cost a bit more, but it's probably less of a worry. They don't last as long, but I'm kind of hoping the additional capacity will help us out here. So where the trucks have been in very bad condition, I have been replacing them with these, um, just so that we can get some slightly more cargo. I mean, it's down to it's down to oh, what's what's the word? It's down to crumbs. It's like any little incremental gain that I can do to get me to a situation where I can get a little bit more product into a town and get a little bit more growth. Because you see, RSC took a little bit of a dip there with the fuel situation. Antiquera still growing, and that's fine. It's kind of like if you're looking at the projections there, you're looking at, not even getting to 800 by 1952. So, it's like I'd love to get everybody to 1,000 pop before the year 2000. I don't know how realistic that's going to be, especially with El Puerto. But it seems to be the growth is quite high. See, they started to drift a little bit. The growth is quite high initially, and then the gains get incrementally harder to get to. So I've got a few things to do still, and a few things that we're having a look at, and a few things that we're moving around. Pardon me, which is fine. So what we want to do now then is, while all that stuff is happening, I'll just have a quick look around my things that are very bad, of which there are quite a few, and I'll replace some of those, and then I'll come back and we'll have a little chinwag about what we're going to do about the oil over here, and just exactly how much oil we've got, and is it enough or is it too much, and how do we stop the oil from clogging up the Villa de Cans hub. I'll see you soon. Right, so I've done the things that I said I was going to do over there, and also with my vehicles in very bad condition. So we want to have a look at this oil, and we want to see what we can do about that. Now let's just double check. So everything else, this is all kind of rats and mice stuff, but except for this one. This one's large, but okay, but it's not as large as it has been. This one is possibly causing us a problem. So we've got 2,600 and something oil, and it's going exclusively to Coslada, right? So we're picking up oil and we're dropping off oil, and it's going exclusively to Coslada, and this is causing us a problem. Now the oil is being dropped off here, and that's fine. I'm allowing this to kind of backlog a little bit here, which is fine. If I need to, I can always set up another truck stop over here, and I'll have the rest of my trucks go over here, and it won't cause a problem. Or I'll put the oil on the other side, and the oil can stay there and not cause a problem, whatever the story is. So that oil is going exclusively over here, right? There's nowhere else this oil is going to. This oil is only going from there, and it's only going over here, as we can see from the green line, to make plastics. And the plastics is exclusively going over here, which is the goods place. And the goods place is making goods. Where are the goods going? Well, the goods are going to a number of places. So we have goods going to where are those goods going? Just they're nowhere, so they're not goods. So there's goods going to Coslada, right? So there's a supply of goods going up to Coslada, and how much is Coslada taking? Coslada is taking about 29, and that's fine. So we're covering Coslada. So Coslada is being covered. That's 29. And not a huge amount. We've got trucks going exclusively to Tomaloso. So they go around Tomaloso, they run in through the town centre there and they drop off there. That's where they're exclusively going. And that is a major supply chain for Tomaloso. And honestly, they could do with slightly more. So they could do with slightly more. There's a little bit of a supply backlog, but I haven't kept an eye on it. How many I got? We got 43 with a bunch in bad condition. Any in very bad condition? Don't think so. But if I were to take, how many of these are in bad condition? Okay, quite a few. More than I was expecting. Right. And we replace with this. That's 17 trucks, each carrying 2 more cargo. So that's an extra 34, is that? So that's fine. So that's enough to cover that. So those trucks will come from wherever they're coming from, and they'll eventually get here and they'll do that. And we then have the goods trucks that are going over here. So are we producing enough here is the question. Well, the answer is yes. I think we are. If we have a look at what's being produced and what's being shipped, we're not even shipping everything that is potentially being produced. So we don't need to add in any more production really. We're already going to be going up a level anyway. And the issue here is probably getting the plastics to here faster, because we have plastics that are sitting over here. How many trucks have we got here? And how many are in bad condition? $14. So if I replace those 14 with that, that's an extra 28. That's probably ample. That is probably ample. So that is a sufficient amount of production at around about 500. So it seems currently. There's 259 backing up down there, which is fine. So this is well in it. This could be down at 0, right? Or down in a couple of hundreds. So that leads me to suggest we got way more than we need there, but that's okay. So now we need to have a look at where these goods are going. So we're sending goods to Arrecife, right? And there's a bit of a backlog here. Not a lot. This train is capable of carrying 72 goods, and there's 72 there. Where is it? Just out of interest. It's coming over. Look at that. Almost perfect timing. So almost perfect timing. He's going to turn up and he's going to pick up 72 goods. And we've also got this one which could pick up an awful lot more goods. And I think that was, I put him in place to do exactly that. So he is also on his way back. He could carry a maximum of 216. Now, I don't think he needs to carry 216 anymore. In fact, I think that he could carry probably a lot less than that. Is he actually carrying any fuel back? That's 12, 24, 36, 48. That's 120. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. I reckon he could do that, and that would be probably a sufficient amount. And by the time he gets back, this is not going to be a huge amount either. It's at 63. Oh, it's not. It's goods related. Yeah, so here comes the other guy. He's going to pick up. Well, this is now at 78. So this guy might need a little bit bigger if I can grab him. There we go. So he's at 72. So let us give him 2 more. Right? So he's coming in. He's going to pick up all of that. Just dropping off his timber. He's going to pick up all his goods. He's picked up nearly all his steel. He's a bit short, but that's as long as I can actually make him. And when the other guy comes in, who's literally just here, and he's just going to wait on the points for this guy to pass, he's going to come in and pick up all his goods, right? Loading up there, but the guy he can now should be able to carry around about 90 something. Here we go. I was short 1. Short 1. We'll add it. We'll give him one more. We'll give him one more truck, just for argument's sake. So give him one more. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So there you go. So we've sorted him out. We've sorted them out. We've sorted that out. That's going over here. Right. Now then, we have this that's happening over here. What's happening? What's happening over here? So, that's the fuel that's heading over. So we have, that's Kozlada. So there's no more goods heading out of here. What is Antiquera Arrecife Fuel Antiquera Hub? We're taking goods back to the Antiquera Hub. So we're loading up here, and we're going back to Antiquera, right? Which is we're taking some. They want 221. We're dropping off some goods here, which is fine. It looks like those goods trucks. There's only 6 of them, so what I'll do is I'll replace with the bigger ones. And they might help move that. That's an extra 12. If we add in what's probably 2 more, that'll be ample. That'll be an ample amount there. So that's a little top-up supply. There's a train going that way anyway, I do believe. So I do believe that that one I added in. Because he was heading that way anyway, which is fine. Not in great condition, but there you go. We then have what's this one doing? Kozlada Steel Goods Timber. So this is loading up on goods and taking it to the Arrecife hub. So Arrecife transfer is over there, and it's bringing them back here. Right, so that's... And then he's picking up timber. Right, okay, that's fine. We've talked about that. That's okay. So... Where's this train? So these trains they got plenty of room. Where are they? Heading out? He's full. Okay, he's taking a full load, 120. Where's this guy? He's coming back. There's no way that there'll be 120 there by the time he gets down here. Right? I mean, I've got these 2 trains coming in. They're both carrying about 70. That's about 140-ish. But he's coming down here, or wherever he is. He's this guy over here, I think. So I think that's fine. So then we have goods trucks, and they're not coming in there and they're not coming in there. Who wants goods? Right. The people that want goods is Antiquera. Not there. Not there either. I thought I had goods trucks running out of here to Antiquera. I thought we were literally delivering goods up the road. Are they all coming from this here? Because if they're all coming from that there, that's mighty miraculous. So we've got bricks trucks. Nope, they're heading into Arrecife. We've got the Arrecife food trucks. They're heading into Arrecife. We've got the Arrecife fuel trucks, which are heading up there to the fuel depot. We've got the logs trucks, which are down there. We've got the logs and timber loop, which is down there. We've got the tools trucks, which is there. And we've got the El Puerto food trucks, which is there. So there's no goods running out of there, even under a different name. We've got fuel trucks heading over there. We've got timber and tools heading over there. We've got steel heading over there, and we've got timber and tools. So there's so this is the only supply of goods coming out of here is going to Antiquera. And Antiquera needs slightly more. So they need slightly more. So we could do with slightly more goods. So that then comes down to this. So this is, that plastic supply is fine. So what I'm saying to you now, these guys are getting goods from somewhere, aren't they? Where are they getting goods from? Are goods coming in here? El Puerto Arrecife food. Are they getting goods coming in here on this line? El Puerto food at Ubeda. Yeah, they're picking up some stuff from El Puerto. Well, that's interesting. Or from Ubeda, sorry. Okay, that's fine. So we're only supplying Antiquera from here. So the goods that are being made here are supplying Coslada, Tomaloso, and Antiquera. So we have that sorted. And in terms of supply, I think, zooming in and zooming out, we have enough happening here. So this means that I think that we are significantly in excess here in terms of the oil production that is happening. Now then, what I did say to you was, where the heck are we getting this oil from, and are we moving oil around the map unnecessarily? This thing here, it is producing a lot, but it's not getting a lot from here. This is producing about 1,000, and this guy is using 1,200, and we're getting more than we need. I reckon, arguably speaking, I really do think that we're getting refined oil over here as well from Antiquera Villa de Cans. So the Antiquera hub is what is he doing? The Antiquera Villa de Cans hub. No, the Villa de Cans, they're picking up oil. So they're picking up oil and taking it back here because this oil is then dropped off to go to the fuel supply people. But that's not what we're talking about. That's not holding this up. So the oil supply is not holding this up. How much are they using? About 800. And we could probably do with them doing more. So we probably need about... The problem is the way the demand works, right? It doesn't matter what I produce here. Like we've got all this excess. I can't say, hey, this excess, boyo, you need to move that over there and take it to there. That's not how it works. You can't do that. With Transport Fever 3, that might, because they're doing warehouses. So they're doing warehousing. So I don't know how that's going to work in terms of production and supply, because that's the issue here. The issue here is we're making enough oil, but it's not getting to where it needs to get to, and it's because the game prioritizes who gets what based on a series of parameters that it doesn't make it immediately obvious to me how it's exactly figuring that out. So that's ultimately a big nuisance for me the way it does that. So in terms of that, given that we have a serious excess, I think that the train that's running from here, that's supplying oil, that's this one, which is supplying crude oil and timber, it's supplying 29 of that, right? And that's way too many. So let's not necessarily throw the baby out with the entire bathwater. We know we need more timber. How much timber we got waiting? Um, this guy 2, so not a lot. So we don't need a vast amount there. So I think what we do is we need to replace these trains. So what we'll do is we'll replace these trains, and we'll get rid of all this stuff, which is costing us an awful lot of money. And we'll go down to our, this guy's too small. We'll go down to that one. And we'll say timber-wise, we think we probably want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say 9. And on this, we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So we're going to change that proportion quite significantly. Because I'm going to support this. I want to support it elsewhere with a different way of doing things. So we're going to go back to our thing, which is alright, missed him, which is there. And we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? 9 and 6. And we're going to let him do that. And then we have all these crude trucks. Now, I don't then want this to come loaded up with crude oil. So we've got these crude trucks, and we've got 29 of them. Let's say 14. So we'll sell 14, and we'll half the load of crude. So we're halving the load of crude that's coming in here, and we're doing that. Now, I want to offset that, because I still want stuff, but I want it to be over here, not over there. Now, the issue is this is connected. So what I could always do is disconnect this, move it further down, and then use this as the backstop for that, right? So what we can do is we can say, well, I'm going to disconnect that, and I want those trucks to run out of there. So I'll get those. I don't want my trucks to so I'll get my trucks out of there, get rid of that road because I don't need it. I got these trucks here. I'm gonna probably change those numbers. No, he's off. Go, shoo, be gone. Be gone, foul beast. What's your name? West Rocks. What did I can West Rocks? Hello, what did I can West Rocks? Can you get out there? I got rocks trucks that don't know what's happening and they've all stopped in the road. Donk. Come along, move along now. Let's be having you. Do hurry. Yes, yes, go, shoo. Blah, blah, blah. Come on, move out the way, young man. Round the corner. There you go. Jolly good. Right, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let us move this along. Wrong building. We're going to move this along here. And we're gonna pop him over there. We're gonna try and line him up with what's over there roughly, with no intention that we want to actually, connect this up to the oil place, because we definitely don't want to do that. So we'll load out the cargo, I will say what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 each way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll go with the simple approach to the road, which is fine. And we will loop our road in, which is here, and say, let's do a little loop, and say, yep, let's try and do it this way. Right. Now then, the game has thoughtfully connected Villa de Cannes West Rocks up, which is great. It hasn't connected the other thing up. It's a bit clunky. Could we? We could probably. Can we just delete these roads because these dirt roads have been annoying me, and this whole one-way system was annoying me, and we did that all with the intent of trying to do something in particular that ultimately doesn't work. So what we'll do is we'll loop that over there like that. That's fine. And then what we'll do is we'll just run a road up the side. Yeah, this side. Probably would have been good to keep it a straight road, but that's all right. And we'll go here, and we'll delete these one-way system things that just proved to be a nuisance. And I think we can probably increase the platform length a bit over here to get it closer to the road. I think, yeah, I think it'll connect from here. Is that right? Yes, excellent. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to, oh, we've already got, no, we've got trucks coming in. I want to go from there to there, right? And they're gonna pick up only refined oil, and they're gonna drop off only refined oil, right? And that is we should call that Villa de Cannes oil supply trucks, right? So we now have that. We don't have any trucks yet, so we're going to buy a building, and we're going to plonk a building. Could we plonk a building on there? Could we? Could? Is there any reason why I can't? Just squeak it on there. Doesn't like the node. I don't like your node, sir. Plonk it there. Right. What we want is we want oil trucks. We'll take these. Let's start with 20. Right, so let's start with 20. And we need to pick all these 20. And we're going to assign those to the Villa de Cannes oil supply trucks line. And we're going to have to keep a very close eye on it. Right, they'll all come rushing out of there. They'll all go over there, etc., etc. We got this, for some reason, unnecessary loop. Monsieur Le Street. Yeah, so they come in there. So they're coming up the road. They're coming down there. Yeah, once again, I put in a one-way system unnecessarily. Doesn't help. Sorry, I need that, which will go there, which is fine. I don't need that there or that now. Douche, you guys can go that way. I mean, why have I got this big? Is I following the contour of the land or something? There's a dip there. It probably doesn't make a massive amount of difference. um, this might make a little bit of difference. I'm just having a little think about that. Because they come in on they drive on the right hand side and they come in. So I don't want to cross the streamers. So we don't want to cross the traffic. We could end up with a few trucks down here. And I don't want a roundabout there. So I think what I might have to do, in all reality, is I'm going to have to simplify this, which I think is, again, it's been created, it's been made unnecessarily complicated by me, because I've been doing it based on this one way thing, which doesn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a fairly generic street access there. And then that means that all I need to do is I need to take this regular road and I need to loop it in there. And then this one I can loop in there like that. Now, hopefully they shouldn't see this junction as a problem. Sometimes they can. Now, what I'm then going to have to do is put in a roundabout about here, far enough removed that it's not such a big drama, right? I want that one, and we're going to go there, and it doesn't have to be massive, I don't think. So this one's going to be, yeah, make it a 50. I'll have to delete that. Make it a 50. And there we go. Right. Straight in there. Straight in there. And the best solution for roundabouts is to try and keep things as kind of equidistant, I suppose, is the word. I do realize that what I've done now is I have used the same road. And you're like screaming at me going, you're connecting it up with a one-way road. I go, yeah, okay, fine, I hear you. There you go. Let's make that straight. Doosh. And, well, let's take it from this side. Straight. And out the top. Do a loop. Carry out this way. Like that. Right, so then they're going to go down. Everybody's going to do their own thing. Is that guy going to see that junction as a problem? Ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. These guys I've got set to wait. So that's the reason why there's a little bit of a drama happening down there. We'll let them do their own thing. Right now, there is an overabundance of oil here for the time being. So what we might do is we might just wait a bit. See, it's already looking like it's possibly going to start dropping. So we want to wait a bit. He's obviously just picked up a lot. We want to wait a bit, and we want to see how things even out. We've obviously just thrown in a bunch of trucks, and you can see they're all now queuing up. This is trying to figure out what it's doing. It's suddenly gone from where it was to a lot less than where it was. We've got all this abundance of trucks that's currently happening that needs to sort itself out. And it will sort itself out. In part, it's having issues because so much trucks are coming out of the depot right now. So there'll be a little bit of a time delay, which is fine. We have an abundance of stuff here. And then we'll be able to reduce this volume down, and then we can address any and or all of some of the other problems that are happening here, because as I've said to you before, pardon me, the issue we have is that if you don't solve these problems, things start to back up and supply chains start to stall. So there you go. That's how I do it anyway. I'm not suggesting that that's perfect. It's entirely up to you. But we have been through, so it's going through, we're just logically working your way through the chain. Who is making what? Who is supplying what level of production are they at? Do they need more? Do they need less? Do we need to move stuff along? Because that's where we're trying to get to. And I've kind of run out of time on this one. Are we better off or worse off? It looks like Columnar's lost some people, which is a bit of annoyance. So I don't know. It's like I said. It's sort of 2 steps forward, 1 3/4 steps back. I feel like we're treading water a little bit. It's nearly 1950, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. I'm determined that we can get everybody to 1,000. I don't know about these guys, but I'm determined we can get everybody to 1,000. So there you go. So, like I said, I've run out of time. Thank you very much. I do hope you have enjoyed. I do hope you have enjoyed joining me for this little walk down memory lane. If you have, click that like. And if you're liking, why not subscribe? Because they're both free to you and help me a lot. Let your friends, family, and everyone else know that I'm here doing this, if they're interested in this, of course. And if you want to help me out and are feeling generous, then please feel free to do so. There is super thanks, there is membership, there is the merch store. Please feel free to check out whatever you like. And I will see you all again for another one real soon. Ta-ta for now.